Drawing from Observation, Lesson 1, Learning to See. Welcome to Drawing from Observation. This is the first in a series of videos that will teach you how to draw expressively from life. Before starting the lesson, please have the following materials ready: a sketchbook, a number 2 writing pencil or mechanical pencil, ebony pencil, and pencil sharpener. And sharpen that ebony pencil before you start. Subject: various objects, natural ones like rocks, leaves, and twigs, and human made ones, for example, bottles, woven baskets, wrinkled up paper bags, a coffee maker, etc. Your hand will be a subject too. It's important to keep track of assignments. Do each exercise in order in your sketchbook. Change pages for each exercise and use as many pages as you need. But on each page, write your name and the number of the exercise. For example, O-1A. Also, after doing the assignments, remember to take photos, both of your drawings and of the subjects you drew. So now that you've reviewed the project guidelines, you're ready to start the first lesson, which we call Learning to See. As you can see in the self-portrait, artists for centuries have used drawing to learn to see themselves and the world around them. And not just artists. Here, you'll test your ability to see with 2 sets of exercises: outline drawing and contour drawing. These words ordinarily mean the same thing, but in drawing, the experience and observations they entail are very different. Even so, both exercises focus only on edges, not on surfaces or light and shade. So they might seem easy, even simple-minded, but don't be fooled. Done right, these exercises will challenge your perception and help to develop your visual awareness. Without further ado, let's get drawing. Part 1, Outline Drawing. The first exercise is a benchmark drawing to illustrate how you interpret the word outline prior to instruction. It will also help to mark your progress as you move through the lessons. Exercise O-1A, Benchmark Outline Drawing. Time, 3 minutes. Materials, number 2 writing pencil or mechanical pencil and sketchbook. Subject, your hand. In this exercise, you will draw the outline of your hand, obviously the hand you aren't using to draw. For the first drawing, let's start with an easy position. Draw your hand palm down with fingers extended. Begin drawing now and take up to 3 minutes. If you finish before the time is up, draw your hand in a different position. Okay, start. and stop. Good, you've done your first drawing or drawings. Now compare the one with palms down and fingers extended to these examples. This first example is a typical schematic drawing, the kind a child might do, or perhaps an expressive artist like Picasso. Don't be embarrassed if your drawing looks like this. It's a perfectly normal way to start a beginning drawing course. Plus, starting here will show you how quickly you can learn to draw more accurately. This next example is another common response to the term outline. It was done simply by tracing a line around the outside of the hand held flat on the paper. If you did it this way, you're not cheating. Artists have been tracing since the dawn of time. Even so, these next two examples are more of what we had in mind for this assignment. Notice how they show more detail, like how the fingers, hand, and wrist connect. If your drawing looks like one of the first two examples, for the next exercise, try to use outlines more like in the third or fourth examples. And that exercise will add another challenge. It will be your first blind drawing. As we said in the guidelines, blind drawing isn't literally drawing blind, like with your eyes closed. It actually requires very close observation, but focused only on the subject you're drawing without looking at your paper at all. To start, you'll set your pencil point down on the paper, look at your subject, and draw without looking at the paper again until we say stop. This might be really hard at first. Your instincts may keep telling you to take a peek and just check how things look, but resist that urge. Just try to relax and trust your drawing hand to follow your eye. If you do, you'll enjoy yourself more and might even find the process liberating since you don't have to worry about the results. Your drawings will probably look funny no matter what, but the point of this exercise isn't just to help you relax and enjoy drawing, important as that is. Its real purpose is to sharpen your observational skills by letting you spend all your time looking at your subject. So even if your proportions are way off, details and relationships between parts may come out even better than if you'd been looking down. And eventually, these exercises will help you draw more freely and more accurately, even while drawing the ordinary way. Exercise O-1B, blind outline drawing. Time 3 minutes. Materials, number 2 writing pencil or mechanical pencil, and sketchbook. Subject, your hand. So for this exercise, spend the whole 3 minutes looking at your non-drawing hand. Pose your hand by clenching your fist and look at it from the palm side to increase the number and variety of lines you see. Then record with your pencil all the lines you find, not just the ones on the outside of the hand, but also the lines that cross the palm, wrinkles on your knuckles, and edges around your fingernails. Don't rush to get this done. Just keep looking for more lines to draw, big or small, until the time is up. Okay, start. And stop. You've done your first blind outline drawing. Now you can look down at your paper, but don't be surprised if the results don't match the image of the hand you might have had in your mind. In fact, your job was to connect your pencil and your eye without letting any ideas about the subject interfere. This helps develop a skill that's important for all sorts of things outside of drawing: eye hand coordination. Part 2: Contour Drawing. Okay, take a breath, stretch a bit, and get ready to do the next exercise: contour drawing. As we said, even though contour and outline usually mean the same thing, in drawing, the two words mean different things. Outline refers to a two-dimensional concept, literally an outside line, basically a line separating one thing from another. Take our last exercise. The outline went around the edge that separated the hand from the surface it rested on. Another outline separated the thumb from the palm that it partially covered or overlapped. In this drawing by Egon Schiele, you can see how the artist found lots of uses for outline. Although in real life these subjects are three-dimensional, outline drawing isn't concerned with their volume. That's why this technique works so well with outside edges of flat shapes. Think of tracing a shadow on a wall or using a digital drawing tool to trace a photograph on a computer screen. Contour drawing isn't about flat outlines, just the opposite. The Latin root of the word is contornare, which means to go around. When you do a contour drawing, think of your lines as wrapping around the three-dimensional form. You'll also notice that lines in outline drawings usually have about the same quality of thickness, darkness, and texture. In contour drawing, line quality changes a lot depending on what it's representing. A good contour line can suggest not only an object's volume, but also its weight, how firm or soft it is, how it feels to the touch, etc. So, when you do your contour drawing, you'll need to really know your subject to closely observe the volume of the form as well as the tactile quality of the surface as if you were touching it. And as you give your subject focused and sensitive attention, allow your contour lines to vary in qualities of thickness, darkness, or texture to suggest the object's qualities of volume, weight, and feel. Exercise O-1C: Blind Contour Drawing. Time: 2 minutes practice with the pencil and 3 minutes exercise, so 5 minutes total. Materials: ebony pencil and sketchbook. Subject: your hand. Let's prepare for this new kind of drawing with a couple of warm ups. First, get a sense for the texture and volume of the subject by running a finger along the surface of your hand. Notice the different sensations between feeling a bone just below the skin, like on the knuckles, compared to pushing on a fleshy part, like the mounds on your palm. Notice the different textures, too. The edges of a nail is sharp, while the top of it is smooth, and some edges, like calluses, are uneven and rough. The second warm up involves getting familiar with your pencil. To communicate these different textures sensitively, you'll need a wider range of marks than you get with regular pencils like you used for outline drawing. We'll use a soft lead drawing pencil for this exercise and many other ones in this series. It's called an ebony pencil because it can make a mark as black as ebony, but it can also make very light lines and lines with a range of different qualities, all depending on how it's used. So let's take a couple of minutes to get used to your ebony pencil and experiment with line qualities. Be sure your pencil is sharpened to a fine point. Then in your sketchbook, try putting different pressures on the point to see how it responds and explore the ranges of marks it can make. Also, try changing the way you hold the pencil while you draw. All of these factors can make a difference in the lines you draw. Okay, start. And stop. Now that you're somewhat familiar with your pencil, begin your blind drawing. Plan to draw your hand close to its actual size. Turn your hand palm up and contort your fingers to make an interesting set of lines. Notice where fingers overlap your palm and each other. Also, notice lines on the palm itself. As you draw, keep your eye on those lines and don't look at your paper. To get the most out of contour lines, in contrast to outlines, imagine your pencil is actually touching the edges you see and let the pressure you put on the pencil change in response to the differences you notice in each edge. When you're drawing deep lines across your palms, press down to make a darker line. For shallow lines, use a lighter touch. Show what's smooth or rough with smooth or rough lines. Naturally, observing and responding in this attentive, sensitive way will take longer than the previous exercise you've done, so don't expect to draw your whole hand in the time allowed. It's having the experience that counts. Okay, start. And stop. This exercise comes from a book called The Natural Way to Draw by well known drawing teacher Kimon Nikolaides. He said contour drawing is like climbing a mountain carefully, step by step, as opposed to flying over it in an airplane. That means the slower you do a contour line exercise, the better. Exercise O-1D, sighted contour. Time, 3 periods of 2 minutes each, so 6 minutes. Materials, ebony pencil and sketchbook. Subject, your hand. Now that you've done some outline and contour drawings, you've gotten a sense of the differences between them, and hopefully, even in the short time, you've noticed some improvement in how you were able to perceive your subject as you went. Now you're going to put your new observational skills to the test by looking at your paper a couple of times as you draw. Start blind, drawing only while looking at the subject and not at the paper. When we say stop, look down and check the drawing to compare it with the subject. Then when we say start again, continue blind drawing. For this drawing, pose your hand in a new position and or look at it from a different angle. Then be sure to keep it in exactly the same position throughout the whole exercise. Okay, start. And stop. Now pause to look down at the paper and compare your drawing to your hand. See if you can identify where the length, direction, or position of certain lines you drew were inaccurate. Then start again looking at your hand and not the paper. Make your corrections without erasing. Just start the new line where the first one was and look more closely so you can redraw the line more accurately. Continue to draw your hand still without looking at the paper. Okay, start. And stop. Now compare your drawing with your hand once more and take note of anything that needs to be corrected. Also, look for details or features of your hand you didn't notice before that you want to add. Now get ready to start again. Okay, start. And stop. Congratulations! You've gotten through the first set of exercises developing observations through drawing. As you saw, drawing blind and making corrections certainly makes your drawing messier, but it's a good messy, which comes from challenging yourself to see more accurately. Once you've done this kind of exercise several more times, you'll notice improvements in your drawings and they'll continue to improve the more you practice. Of course, you'll always need to make corrections. That process never ends, even for the great masters like Leonardo da Vinci. You can see that in this page from one of the many sketchbooks he kept all his life. But in part because of this messy process, you'll gradually find yourself seeing and drawing more accurately, and over time, you'll need fewer lines to zero in on your subject and bring it to life. These last two exercises will give you a chance to practice outline and contour drawing at your own pace. Choose two or three objects for each exercise and continue on each drawing as long as you can concentrate. In both cases, keep your eye on the subject as much as you can, checking the paper only occasionally. If you're looking at the paper a lot, you're drawing from memory, not observation. Exercise O-1E outlines still life drawing. Time 10 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes for each drawing. Materials number 2 writing pencil or mechanical pencil and sketchbook with no erasers. Subject wrinkled up paper bags, coffee maker, or similar human made objects. Select objects with interesting lines and draw them only as outlines, paying no attention to texture or volume, but still trying to draw as accurately as you can. Switching back to the number 2 or mechanical pencil will help you keep your lines clean and consistent. Okay, start. and stop. Exercise O-1F, Contour Still Life Drawing. Time 15 minutes, 3 to 8 minutes each. Materials sketchbook and ebony pencil, no erasers. Subject rocks, leaves, twigs, bottles, woven baskets. To go back to contour, switch to the ebony pencil. From the objects you collected, choose 2 or 3 with interesting forms and varied surface textures. Try to capture both the volume and the quality of texture with the kind of lines you use. Remember, don't rush to finish these drawings. Take your time to really experience each line you make. Okay, start. and stop. You've finished the first lesson in the Drawing from Observation series, and hopefully you've noticed that you're now seeing more, even if you're not sure your drawing has improved. Don't worry, it will. Before you quit for the day, check that each page of drawings is labeled with your name and the number of the exercise, and be sure you've taken photos of each page of drawings and of the subjects for each assignment.